evening, TDN listeners. Good evening, audience of This Week in Interview. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Interview with your host and guide, Anthony Drago. Pleasure to be here with you. Every Wednesday, there's a hump day, but it actually is the highlight of most of my weeks. And I get to share those times with you. So gather around and take the opportunity to text someone, let them know that This Week in Interview is on and they should join. uh, in Dominica, RVR Jams Radio on DG Play Channel 59 carries This Week in Interview Live, as well as online radio SBE in the Toronto market. There are other stations that carry This Week in Interview as well. Um, Angelo Allen, GTM Radio, Global Talk and Music Radio. And then we're also on Roku and all the other social media. So you can find us. Uh, if one media is giving you trouble, just switch on to another one. It's the middle of the summer. If you can, yeah, because we can say that end of July is sort of like the mid of the summer. Although, if you're in the US, there are some states that are getting ready to go back to school because their summer break started in May. So, but in some of the states and in the Caribbean, especially, school doesn't start until September. In New York, I know it's not until after Labor Day, which is the first Monday in September, and the action is heating up. You have uh, you have Miami Carnival, you have Caribana, you have Labor Day celebrations, and all of the activities that go on leading up to the climax. All of that is going on. So I know a lot of folks are having a wonderful time. So stay safe and enjoy the summer. If you're traveling, remember there's a lot of books, Dominican books by other Caribbean writers that I encourage you to take with you for your reading. Most of them are available in paper, hard copy, and most of them are also available in electronic form, whether it's on Kindle or one of those other readers. You can get the e-version, and those have some pretty high quality writing and storytelling in those works. So I encourage you to take it on with you as you go to relax on your trip, or if you just going out by the pool, or just hanging out, have a day off, and it's too hot outside, so you want to stay in the air condition. Just have one of those books available. I have many of them are available, and it will be good for summer reading. Also, you have some folks who have produce. I produce from your homeland, whether you're from Grenada or Trinidad or Dominica or St. Vincent. Those products are increasingly becoming available, so you can get access to them. If you are from Dominica and you're looking for some particular products, whether it's cocoa or coffee or chips, breadfruit flour, the skincare products, you can always drop us a line, and I have ways to get some of those into your hands. And it's really relevant. With my guest tonight, we are having an episode of Green MAGA, Make Agriculture Great Again, sustainable food production and agriculture. And with that, I always have my guest, Mr. Adrian Banis, Pastor Adrian Banis. He joins me once a month, and we talk about various aspects of modern farming, whether it's agritourism or how does he call it, where your forest agroforestry, and agro processing, running your farm as a family business or as a business, the entrepreneurs out there. We usually break it down, and he talks from experience, because most of what we discuss, he's actually doing it. And we spoke about getting young people interested in agriculture. trying to revive agriculture and food production in Dominica. And he's playing his part in that one too. As a matter of fact, on his farm, if he and his family, they currently have a summer program where they're teaching, they're getting kids, young people familiar with agriculture, with different aspects of agriculture, not just planting and waiting for it to bear and then harvest and eat, but really giving them a deep dive into food production and the importance of agriculture. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is the ongoing youth camp that's going on his farm at the moment. And we'll take the opportunity to also just talk about how do we go about being more intentional and more deliberate in farming so that we can measure things like productivity and have benchmarks. There's all of this available data online. How do we know how well we're performing? Different metrics that we can use to measure productivity, to measure performance on the farm. So, my brother Adrian, it's great to have you back. Welcome to this other episode in this week in interview.
Yes, thank you very much. Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Thank you very much. It's really an honor to be with you once again and to share and to see how we can stimulate the hearts of our young people into agriculture. And also, we want to look at production because the markets are there. As I always say, food will always sell. I was just making a small analogy with the young people. I was saying to them, if you need a shoe and you need food, and your mom is going to buy you something, which one you would ask your mom to buy for you? And the young man said, food. So you cannot live without food. You can live without the shoe because you can eat and walk without shoes, but you cannot
Walk with your shoes and
walk
starve,
with
right?
the shoes and starve. So food is very, very important. And today, in today's world, I was listening to someone. He said that there's going to be the the war is going to be over water and food. So and you see they are creating the famine because, as I said, China is now producing a lot of food without seeds, fruits without seeds. So what they are doing, they are planning to make sure they create a shortage. When you don't have seeds, what is going to happen to you? So we in the Caribbean, the region, in the West and the Caribbean, the region, we have to make sure that we keep to our practices and maintain our seed. As a matter of fact, one of my goals is to develop a seed bank to make sure I have all my seeds available. So it's really, I would really like the persons who are listening to pay attention to what is happening around you and around us and recognize if we cannot go wrong in agriculture. We have made a lot of mistakes and think well agriculture is not a thing that we should engage ourselves in. Agriculture and got money, but that is not true. That is really, really not true. And it's the way you have to farm now. Even if you farm properly and after a time, based on how you farm, you can also reduce carbon emission and you can begin to claim for carbon emission and you can make money just having a forest in your
On
on
your
your
land,
farm,
right? Yeah.
your
Hmm.
land. Okay, so there are lots and lots and lots of opportunity. What we have to do is to see how we can do certain things easier, and but there are certain tradition that we have to keep in order for us to maintain our healthy food, not just planting food, but we need healthy food. Okay, so as
So,
I want to say again,
so
just a pleasure being here.
yeah, it's great having you. So last week I had um, Alex Bruno and a couple folks from the Team Unity Dominica, because they uh, on Wednesday they launched their campaign for 2027 election or the next election,
Yeah.
whether it's called beforehand or not. And when I asked them about their plans, how would they go about um, convincing folks that what are their plans that they have for them to move Dominica out of where it is right now and for development? The first thing that they said was agriculture. They said they would a government that they are part of would certainly have a strong emphasis on reviving, as they call it, the agriculture sector. And then this, what they went on to say that it seems a lot of young people in Dominica are not inclined towards agriculture, and so with that plan would also have to come a plan to bring in workers. But I know that you have an ongoing camp at your farm right now, Banis Farm in Castle Bruce. I want us to talk about that a little bit because I want to push back against the narrative that young people may not find agriculture appealing. Tell us about the young people that's on your farm, what you have been doing with them, what their response is like. Do you see the enthusiasm or do you see reluctance? Just tell folks about the camp that's going on your farm at Cassius right now.
Yeah, the camp ended today. There was a 2 weeks camp.
Mm-hmm.
We ended today. The first week we dealt with the theoretical part. We taught them about the various plans. We taught them about the the land. Well,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter did that whole um, that training on land preparation, on different fruits and the different trees, explain the importance of agriculture and stuff like that. And then every after every session, they would do an activity, and one of the activity they would do is to do a bed, and so they can plant something on that bed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so the enthusiasm was really really good. They responded very well. They like the idea because what I realized, you cannot train people in a place where they are not seeing what you are telling them happening. And that is the thing I always say about the way we want to pass information to persons. You want to pass information to person, but they are not seeing.
Mm-hmm.
But you are telling them how they are going to get interest. If you're telling me about if you're telling me about transportation, you have to bring me in a place where I can see the vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
and you can now explain to me and share with me the knowledge you have about the vehicles. But if you take me in a class in a building and you're telling me about agriculture or about anything, and I'm not seeing it, all I'm seeing, but I want to be where I can touch it, I can feel it, I
Mm-hmm.
can experience it. And that is what we are bringing to the table, bringing them to a place where they can feel it. They can, you talk about the fruits, they can taste it. You talk about the plants, they can play with it. They can plant it themselves. They can see how it is being planted.
Right.
So that is really what is have been missing, because I always saying they are talking about, everybody talking about food security, they're talking about climate smart agriculture. You can talk about climate smart agriculture and you inside a building,
Right.
or you want to do it in a classroom, and after that they get a certificate and they go. And then how are they going to do the practical? They must have somewhere now to go and put the knowledge that they receive. So they had a very good week. They got their certificate. They enjoyed it. And then another set came in on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Like we did some work with them in the area of agroforestry, sharing the agroforestry experience. As you know, I am the only one who have that. that model in Dominica, full farm with agroforestry, full
Mhm.
agroforestry farm. So I was giving them the importance of agroforestry, what it does, and
For those
how.
that may not know in the audience, what is agroforestry?
Well, agroforestry is planting trees on the farm to help mitigate and to help respond to the climate, um, how I call it,
Climate change, eh?
climate change, respond
Mhm.
to climate change, to mitigate,
Mitigate.
yeah, climate right now, what we are going through, the hot sun and also the heavy rains. Because when you check the rain that we used to have in as growing up, that kind of rain is a different rain today,
It's more intense, eh?
In man, and it's bigger, heavier.
Mhm.
So you have to, whatever you are doing today, you have to take the weather pattern in mind, and so you
Right.
have to build something that is
And so like
resilient.
agroforestry would be like you would look at your farm, maybe understand what direction the wind is coming from,
Yeah, that is one.
how the water is running off the soil, and plant trees and different agricultural stuff that would sort of create a windbreak,
Right,
also break the speed of the water running off the farm
right,
to reduce and so on. So the things that you're going to implement to help to conserve your soil and to protect your farm is also might be fruit bearing trees, or some have some other use or benefit,
yeah,
not just something that's just there for the sake of only being a windbreak. Like I remember when we were growing up, a lot of the farms used to be protected with galba,
yeah,
this
right,
tree,
right.
that tree that they call galba, because the branches would break easily.
Yeah,
The, the,
Galba is a very hard
the
tree,
branches would break easily,
but it will
a-
remain
a-
standing.
and so it will absorb the force of the wind that way. The same type of technology that they use in when they're designing vehicles.
Yeah,
Um, when they're designing vehicles, they build in such a way that if you need to have a collision, the vehicle mash up, because that's how you dissipate the energy. But the cage where the people are is protected, so the full force of the collision doesn't get to the
yeah,
people and harm them. So if you um similarly if you have trees that will take the force of the wind and break or lean or whatever, the amount of force that time it gets to your crop is lessened.
you
But
get less than.
going back to the camp, what kind of numbers did you have with the camp?
Well, about 40%
Oh, well, that's a good crowd. And ages.
between we had from 13 to 13 to 20, 20,
Wow,
20, 25. Yeah,
that's the ideal age to get folk,
yeah,
because they can understand the experience and learn from it.
right.
Um,
Yeah, and then we also taught them in the area how to process.
mhm.
Today we did jams, pineapple
Okay.
jam.
Hmm.
We taught them we do breadfruit flour,
Mm.
and we also do cocoa sticks.
Okay. Hot cocoa. Well, not hot, but cocoa, like processing from the pods all the way up
Yeah,
to roasting
and grinding,
and grinding as well. Okay.
making the sticks. Yeah,
Right. Actually making the
but they
stick.
were very excited about the flour, the breadfruit flour.
The breadfruit
Everybody,
flour. Uh-huh.
everybody got their pack,
Oh, they were able
and
to go home. Okay.
we use the jam
Hmm.
as a dip to eat their chips.
Okay. Because you also produce chips as well.
Yeah, right.
Right. So it was a 2 week camp.
Mm-hmm.
You do theory and then you do
Practical.
hands-on production. So with that experience that you had with the young people, um, would you say that if we were to manage it properly, agriculture could see a comeback because we have young people who would understand what modern agriculture is about.
Right. Yes, because there are a few of them there at the moment did not have land. We
Hmm.
had some from the Kalinago territory. We had some from um, Sultan.
Hmm.
We had from Pidsufria. We had from Castle Bruce. Yeah, Castle
Okay.
Bruce, Sultan, Kalinago,
Galinago territory.
Pidsufria.
Hmm.
So it's like we cover the entire.
Sub-region, yeah. Hmm.
And you know most of them say they have land. So and they were very much interested, especially
Hmm.
Kalinago ones, those in Sultan, and those on the other side. I was also telling them in agriculture today, there are lots of opportunities. You don't have to only focus on planting and growing.
Hmm.
You can also develop app. There are so many things that you can do to help make agriculture something that is viable.
Hmm.
And you know, I was trying to really tip their brains to really think of doing things that can help get them to go and do research. One of the things that we weak in the Caribbean is data,
Hmm.
and we really have to work on that data to know well how many pounds of dashing we need. So how many acres of dashing we need, or how many dashing plants we need to plant in order for us to get a
Right.
thousand, a thousand pounds.
1,000 pounds, for example. How much dashing you get from an acre of land?
Right.
What affects
And
production?
then after planting, how long it will take to apply your first fertilizer, and then the next thing, time of harvest. So it puts you in a place where you are monitoring all what you are doing up to the time you are ready to harvest. When you harvest, whatever you take it to the market,
Hmm.
so then you know exactly your cash flow. Because when I look at dashing right now, came not from 50 cents to 75 cents to a dollar 25. Then it came to a dollar 50. It's dollar 75. Now that is $2
A pound.
a pound.
Hmm.
And that is pretty good.
Yeah.
By the next 2 3 years, that will be $3 4. So this is a time where the young generation really have to go into farming because they are going to meet it even better than us. Because it's true, we didn't have that kind of inflation that we have now, but agriculture will drive it up because remember you must buy food.
You must buy food. And not only that, there's so many more ways now to
Right.
add value. Whether
Yes.
it's whether it's a flour, whether it's a porridge, whether and also with proper organization, you can get access to markets that were difficult to get access to before. So so that's why I like the idea of the camp, is because it stimulates the young people at a time when their brain is most active
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
receptive and creative, to think about different ways in which they can insert themselves in agriculture and make a living out of agriculture and provide support services and different things like that. So it's not the first time that you've had uh, it's not the first time that you've had a camp on your farm, Adrian, but the
No, that's
response the
3 years
response is
now.
strong, eh?
Yes, every year is getting stronger. It's getting better. As a matter of
Hmm.
fact, we have a component. We have a component in it for. I think they have to do a pitch, and they're going to get the person who wins going to get 2,000 US because we are also teaming up with a organization from the United States.
Okay.
That is my young organization, Innovate My World. It's a
Hmm.
young lady from Kulibistri, I think, and that she is very, very much involved in agriculture all over Africa and all these ways. And when she came to Dominican, she met with us. Somebody told her about us, and she came. She was very impressed, and from that time, she has been working with us. This year we got a grant,
Hmm.
and that helped us pretty well, and we are looking forward. And this is something we are also looking forward to use it as an opportunity to develop the tourism industry also. And as a summer, instead of coming and just walk around, you come and learn something and then you
Right.
go enjoy this. So we are looking how we can tap into Guadeloupe and Martinique to
Right.
see if we can get persons to come, because all these places they are really going into agriculture, and they want different information, different
Hmm.
knowledge, different technique to see how they can improve on their agriculture. And as we go along, you never know, we'll have people from the other parts of the Caribbean that will want to come and learn, because it's a place of learning.
Hmm.
It's a place where we share information. It's a place you are not just learning one thing, but we are taking you from the from the farm to the table, and not just to the farm to the table, to the farm, to the market, to the supermarket, and then to the table. So you have fresh produce, you have added value, and also we are looking also to push the livestock,
Hmm.
especially chicken and the rabbits,
Hmm.
goats, and because what we want to do is to bring back the traditional way of how we used to do things. Because growing up, everybody used to have their little goat in their yard, have their fowl in their yard, and one or two persons have rabbits, but and they used to have it as meat. But
Right.
now we are finding out that the rabbit is have far more reaching and potential, and can also help you to develop your agriculture in a sustainable way,
Hmm.
because you can use the urine as a pesticide. I do like to use that word. I always say I try to get a lot of words. You can use the urine to
For
the
to
pest,
manage pests. Uh-huh.
manage your pests, and then you can use the feces one time to put in your vegetables to grow.
Right.
So this is an added value that we have, and that we are not tapping into. So I really would want to encourage people to tap into rabbits if you want to grow healthy vegetables, and not just vegetables alone. We are also looking at to bring biodigester about technology, so we can have the persons that are doing the chicken on a large scale or animals on a large scale. They can use that manure, and then they can use it to have fire
Right. Produce methane for
and
as a
and
gas for
your
cooking and for
gas,
different facilities. Yeah. Hmm.
right? And then you're using now the residue as manure.
As fertilizer.
Yeah, fertilizer.
Okay. Interesting. Adrian, let me take our break right now. It's a good time to take it. We're at the bottom of the hour. And when we come back, we're going to talk. I want you to tell me what was your biggest takeaway from the camp. What is something that you saw at the camp that really, whether it encouraged you or otherwise. But when we come back from the break, we'll continue to talk about that, and then we will talk about how we can modernize our agriculture so that the yield that we getting from, say, an acre of land, how can we tweak that so we maybe get 1.5 times or increase our yield, our productivity? We talk about data, what kind of data we should collect that would help to drive the forward movement of our agriculture. So, folks, stay with me. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, I'll continue my conversation with Pastor Adrian Banis. We're talking about the camp that was just completed on his farm with some young people between the ages of 13 and 20 years old. And we are talking about food production, productivity from the land, data collection, and so on. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Presented by. People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
We're back. We only had one commercial. Almost took me by, by surprise. But yeah, so we're back. I guess we don't want to waste too much time. Um, we're talking to Adrian Banis. He and his family has Banis Farms at Castle Bruce, and they're just concluding a camp, a camp on agriculture for young people between the ages of 13 and between the ages of 13 and 20, really, really prime age. I'm really excited to hear that that is the cohort that he had. They had up to 30 students, young people during that camp. And I wanted to ask Adrian, in general, having done the camp and interacted with young people, I know when I was a teacher, you get so much energy from your young students, and not just that mental energy, creativity, and so on. It's so good to be in that space. So I don't know if you had any um, thoughts or highlights in the camp, but what was your general takeaway, your general impression of working with these young people for 2 weeks in agriculture on your farm?
Well, I born man, I was so excited to see how they were excited about being there, the way
Hmm.
they did their work. Even today, I said there is one guy I find he stands out very well. Man, I asked this young man a question, man. Oh my gosh, the way he answered and the way he handled himself in the processing. And I told him, well, if you'd like to go and work with me, because I'm both I like to mentor. When I see people doing well, I like to mentor them. And he told me yes. So I told him when I'm doing a big batch of flour, I can bring him to work with me. And he's very excited about that.
Hmm.
All of them, they were really excited about what they were experiencing and what they will see. And most people love to learn by doing.
Hmm.
So they did not only get book knowledge, but they did on hand. They did things on site, on hand,
Hmm.
information, practical
Right,
way of doing things, and that made them excited. And what made them more excited is that they ate from what they do.
right.
So
They could
that
pick the
made them
stuff,
really
they
excited.
process it. Okay.
So they were interested. That there were some young ladies from the Kalinago. I find they really showed themselves and they really did what they had to do, and they all enjoyed them. So there is hope. I don't think we should just say young people are not interested. Best we say young people are not being encouraged
Encouraged. Uh-huh.
encouraged to get involved in farming, because at the school level should have a better structure in agriculture than what they have. I
Hmm.
remember when the teacher from college came by us, when they saw my farm, he said, man. So I was asking him, what about college? What they have in the academy? College, I learned, but they have got nothing on it. When I talked to the lady, she told me they have the land there, but they have got nothing on
They
it.
have
The
not.
land,
They're not using it.
right? The land was there. So
That's a shame.
I was saying to her, that would be a good place for me to come and establish a farm
A
that will,
teaching farm. Yeah.
yeah, so they can have it to learn and not and also some of them they went with plants. That was another thing. So all in all, I think it was really, really good. And I think this, if not all, because all might not come back, but many of them will come back and buy plants in the future.
Hmm.
Because what is going to keep it going or to keep them interested is we have to keep producing plants, producing food. They have each time they come, they have to see improvement,
Right.
move to another level. The last time when I came, I saw that, but now I'm here, I'm seeing something different. Because we clear a place for hydroponics. It's just that the guy didn't come and set up the hydroponics for us. So
Okay.
we are going to have a hydroponic system on the farm and bring in all our water and make sure everything is running well.
What crops you think would grow well at hydroponics?
Well, it's more lettuce though, lettuce
Lettuce. Okay.
and they call it Chinese cabbage, bok choy now.
Bok chow.
Chinese
Yeah. Uh-huh.
cabbage,
Uh-huh.
Chinese cabbage, and
I remember when we were growing up. My mom used to do bok chow in the as part of their social league group. They had people
yeah,
that
yeah,
used to
yeah,
bring
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that to them. Yeah. Yeah. Bok chow. So that that period is done. That was 2 weeks are done.
Yeah.
We talk about agriculture not only being planting and harvesting and so on, but a big part of how we can plan our farming is with data. What
Yeah.
information do we have that somebody can use to predict what you can do in agriculture? So a young person, like you say, most of them have land. Maybe they don't even know how much land they have. But just if you have the data and you say, well, if we're going to produce, we're going to produce some dashing, some plantings, and they start to think about planning what crops they would plant and where they would plant it, immediately they're going to go ask, well, mom or dad, how much land do you have? And they will tell them, well, we have 5 acres. Or you see over by that side, you have 4 acres here. And when you cross the river, you go by that mango tree, there's another 2 acres. That kind of basic information a lot of people don't have. And then you will take it to the level where they would say, okay, what type of soil do we have? Um, if we have to plant on our land, what's the best crop to plant on the land? Is it sloping? Is it flat? How much rain we get? If we have water close by, can we grow plants that need a little more water? What happens in the dry season? So in the camp, did the idea of information and use of information in farming, is that one of the topics that you guys dealt with?
Yes, we dealt with that.
Hmm.
We dealt with like water harvesting too,
Hmm.
plant moisture, and how you can retain water in your land by same agroforestry
Hmm.
and also drainage and stuff like that. So yes, they got most of the information that we know that we have to pass on to them. They got that information.
A member of the audience, Catherine, is asking about predial larceny.
Well,
Um, mhm.
well, in Dominica, we not really have that kind of problem as such,
Oh,
especially in our
really?
area, Casibrus.
Not okay. I thought they were saying that was a huge problem in some parts. Is it, or
In some
is it that
parts,
it's no longer?
in some parts, but in
Uh-huh.
Casibrus, we don't really have that problem anymore. Those that we used to do it, they died. They no longer alive.
uh, in
So
in
that's
in,
it.
Dom, in Dominican parlance, those fallers that used to go on people and
Yeah.
keep people crop, they die.
So we don't really have that kind of problem. I do not know for, well, I haven't heard farmers really complaining much
Complain
like
about it
how they
as
used
much,
to
right? Uh-huh.
plant it. Thing. Again, you don't have a lot of people planting. That's the
Hmm.
other thing. You have more grass than you have food. So
Right. Yeah. When I was in Dominica, I was very surprised to see the amount
yeah,
of
so
land
that
that is
in
no
itself
longer
reduce.
under cultivation.
Yeah.
Okay. So predial larceny is not something that, um, because I know that used to discourage a lot of farmers. It's like you
Yeah,
plant
yeah.
your crop, you take care of your crop, and then when it comes to harvest, somebody comes by and walks away with your crop. You
Mm.
know. So let's talk about productivity in the last 15 minutes that we have on the program. How do we talk to farmers, talk to the young people about productivity? How do we educate a farmer? What is he supposed to look at in terms of productivity? What benefit is there in terms of tracking that, and what usually you can do to increase productivity?
Well, one of the area that we have been always talking about is how you plant.
Hmm.
You don't plant all your things at one time. That is one.
Hmm.
Number two, you try to plant what the market wants,
Right,
because you cannot plant things at the market that cannot sell in the
right.
market. So you have to focus on what the market is interested in. For instance, I always say St. Martin is a very, very good market because St. Martin like big things. They don't like small things. So whether the cucumber big or not, they'll still buy it. And so St. Martin is a very good market. And I know a guy from Marigot, Prevo guy. His father used to sell, used to, his father have access to markets in, I think, Antigua and St. Martin and St. Kitts. They have been
Hmm.
doing very, very well. And then, but the father is old now, he can't do it again. So the son take it up.
Hmm.
And I find the son is doing very, very well. And I find this is a man I'm saying every day that the government should take up and assist a man like that. And because they have an old boxing plan in Marigot, repair the boxing plan, give it to him, let him manage it and
As a
run it
packaging center,
as a packaging center.
processing center. Hmm.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm seeing he's trying a lot, he's trying and he's doing well.
Hmm.
And this is the kind of things that the government should be looking at. Persons who are doing well, you invest in them
Hmm.
and take them to the level where they can take off.
Hmm.
But what you find is that they just worry about it because they don't want you to become independent. So we as an organization that we have an organization called organization Agricultural Alliance of the Caribbean Dominica chapter. Our AGM is coming up on in I think it's on the 10th of September, and I believe we are really going to really make a big statement and to see how we're going to improve agriculture. And one of the things that we want to encourage is we want to have a marketing arm of the produce. So we do not have farmers going to plant and still have to go and sell, still have to go and look for market. And then we want to have somewhere central. When you plant, you bring your stuff here, we buy it, we pay you, and then we package and we go into the market.
Okay.
So right now what we are doing is we are preparing to go big. So then we'll be able now to go on a massive after the AGM on a massive farmers training how to ensure that you have production regularly. So you don't plant if you have 10 acres, you don't plant the whole 10 acres at one time. You
Right.
plant
You stagger your
four,
production. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
you start with 5 acres, and every year you put you put in an acre after that. And by the time you finish your 10, you can come back now and replant maybe
The
because
first. Yeah. Hmm.
because one of the things that we are not doing in Dominica also, we are not how are you calling it when you're changing the crop,
Rotating.
rotating our
Hmm.
crops.
Hmm.
We only planting one thing in one place all the time. So there are lots of things that a lot of work that we can do. And I always say agriculture should not be driven by the government. It should be driven by the private sector.
Mhm.
And that business of people, and I will say it, I am not going to hold it back. We should take care of our business, take up our business and make it viable, because we are the ones that are planting, we supposed to benefit. So if we bring in all the farmers together, the livestock people together, the bee people together, all those are involved in agriculture, even the fisheries. Because remember, you can you can use animal dung, you can use the fish, you can also use the bees, because the bees can help you pollinate
Right.
and can make you more productive. Because I can tell you, I have the experience with the bees. I mean, it's just unbelievable how bees can change your productivity. So,
You see any difference on your farm?
oh my
That
gosh,
since you started doing the honey production, you
I
have more
must I
fruits.
must send a picture of it.
Mm.
I think I have a picture I sent. Okay, so this is something that we have to begin to pass on to farmers, the information that they can recognize. It is not about doing one thing, but when you're doing one thing, you have to add the other things that is going to help you to have the
Right.
productivity. So it is not just planting, throwing fertilizer, harvest, but you plant the planting, then you put in cocoa, you put in other crops in between, you intercrop, and once you do intercropping, you will be able to have a consistent flow of income.
Right. So that organization that you spoke about is the Agricultural Alliance of the Caribbean, and you
Yeah,
have an AGM coming. Maybe that can be our next topic when we meet in August.
yeah,
We'll talk about that. If it's convenient, you have one or two other members of the organization come on with you,
okay, yeah,
and we can talk about the organization and what it's about, what it does. Talk about the AGM, and all of that. It's because I find that very interesting. And if it's successful, it can make a huge difference in farming and food production in the Caribbean. So maybe next time we come on for August, we can probably deal with that. And there might be folks listening who would be interested and find it fascinating and want to be associated with that organization.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have
So
done we have done a lot of work already. We did a lot of training with farmers,
mhm,
and we also give farmers a lot of plants, breadfruit plants. We do a lot of training in pruning, in grafting and
mhm.
boarding. We did in record keeping. We did in pest
Pest
control.
control. Mhm.
Yeah, we did in water harvesting. We did agroforestry. So we did a lot of work already. Now what we have to do now is to build on what we have. I think we have up to almost
Oh wow.
100 farmers
Okay.
working with. And so our goal now is to get a market, have a steady market,
For the various
and
products.
sell our products. So
Mhm.
that's why we want to remove, because we ourselves tried to export, but the organization don't have the capacity to do the production and export.
Right.
Right. So right now, what we are doing, we are going to have an export company, and then now we are going to
Right.
focus on production and then added value, because we want to make sure that we add value. That's why I brought the model farm concept, and I've been sharing that with some people. If each of the model farms have at least a small processing area in their shed, and so they process their waste, and the neighboring farmers can come there and process if they anything that they have that can't sell in the market, or if they have a glut in something, they can process it, and then
Right.
we buy it from them, We buy it from them. So this is something that we really want to push. So nothing wastes.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think those organizations are useful. I always go back to the
Very much.
model of when we had bananas, and bananas were very successful because we had the Bananas Growers Association,
You're right, right.
which dealt with the farming part of it and the farmers and the inputs and extension services and all of that. And then you had the DBMC, the marketing, Banana Dominica Banana Marketing Corporation, that was responsible for taking all the produce from the farmers and bringing it out to market to sell. And so that kind of arrangement is something that, I mean, we learn that model, and there's no reason to toss it out. We should be able to implement a similar model with our agriculture, because that it proved that it was successful,
Yeah.
and we can modernize it, make it easier with use of technology and apps and different devices and so on. But I believe that that is the way we have to go and look at our food production.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame that in Dominica we import so much food.
I know.
We spend millions of tens of millions of dollars every year importing food into the country. And so we would like to turn that around. And that all of that, because we're spending so much money on food, it means that there's that amount of money available in the economy to buy food from farmers that produce it locally. So, Adrian, we at the end of the program, I'll give you the opportunity to make some closing remarks. You can talk about the camp, you can talk about production, productivity, and any other thing, agriculture. Make agriculture great again.
Yes, our goal is to ensure that we keep agriculture alive in Dominica.
Hmm.
We are not just keeping it to ourselves. We want to make sure that we spread the knowledge around in the communities, and we get people excited about agriculture. And one of the things that we want to do is to go back to the young age, the young ones that are coming up. So we want to make sure that every year we continue to do that program and to see how we can spread it. And if you are out there, you are interested, and you really have a passion to see, especially the Dominicans in the diaspora, whatever way you can make a contribution to help to assist in us building a cadre of young people that will be interested in farming, because lots of the young people, their parents have land, but it's just that if your parents is not doing it, you will not want to do it. But the mere fact that their parents sending them to the program, it means that the parents is trying to show them that go and learn so you can come back and you can help yourself, you can develop yourself. And we are also open to mentor you and to encourage you. So you out there in the diaspora, I want to encourage you. Whatever you can do to assist, you can contact Tony, and Tony now can link with us because we have a good relationship. And we are also looking to open up market in the US for various added value and other crops, other things. So all in all, I want to say, let's keep holding on strong. Don't give up, because we are the ones that have to feed the world. And Dominica is in a prime, it's Dominica time, it's our season. And to produce healthy food. And that's what we want to produce, organic food. We already want to come to the stage where we become organic. When you come, you eat something from Dominica, you're eating a real, nice, organic food, free from pesticide and nematicide.
Awesome. So thank you for that. It's always a pleasure to do this program, because, as you said, there's no substitute for food,
Yeah.
and there's no substitute for good, healthy, organic food, I should say. For a number of years, we drifted away from that because the idea was just on producing maybe bananas and the best looking banana, and so a lot of Gramaxone and different types of
Yeah.
synthetic fertilizers in the land. So maybe that's the only silver lining in the decline in agriculture in Dominica, is that the land has had a chance to return and work all that contamination out. And so we're in a position now where we could really have some authentic organic farming,
Yes.
organic food being produced. So, Adrian, I want to congratulate you, first of all, and you and your family on the successful camp that you just concluding, and to thank you for that contribution, reaching out to those young minds and really introducing them and immersing them in the concept in agriculture, making them have the opportunity to consider agriculture as some as a career, as a business that they can participate in. So thank you for that, and to you and your family, and thank you for coming on tonight to share with us that great news, and then to talk a little bit about production. As I said, we're in August. If it's possible, you maybe can bring somebody else, if you or two, from the
Yes.
organization, Agriculture Alliance of the Caribbean. We can talk about that group somewhat, and really, uh, again, it's another aspect of the revival of the continued development of agriculture in Dominica. So thank you very much. Good night, and we will talk as we continue. As audience, as Adrian said, if you're interested in the conversations that we're having, you can contact me at you can contact me at TDN or at This Week in Interview, and I can convey any message that you have for Adrian. We can get, if you want some. He makes the best cocoa that you make for drinking, for cocoa tea. So we could get you some of those. He has a wonderful breadfruit flour and different chips, breadfruit chips, plantain chips, and so on. So you can contact us for that, and just con- let us know. And if you're looking to participate, if you have land in Dominica that's not being used, and you want to look at the option of having it used, we can also try to facilitate you with that as well. So having said that, I want to tell you good night, and make sure that you come back next week, Wednesday, for another episode of This Week in Interview. But before I leave, I want to encourage you, if you are eligible to vote in Dominica, to make sure that you are reconfirmed on the ballot. Not on the ballot, but on the voters list. There's a reconfirmation process that is going on now, that is scheduled to go on until October. And from all reports, the response and the process has been really challenging. So I would encourage everyone to make yourself familiar with that and go and register. Uh, Sophie says she needs Kako, so we'll talk about that. So, um, anybody else that needs, we we're actually looking to bring some of those produce up to the US, so that it'll be easier for you guys to, if you're interested, to get some of that. Contact me if you want more details, or if you want me to just mark your name down. So when we have it, I'll contact you to get yours. But I was saying that the reconfirmation process, you need to be on that list, because maybe what we need is to elect representatives that also have the same concept of the development of agriculture, not just talking about it, but actually interested in implementing it. And so your vote matters. But if you don't go to get reconfirmed, when the time comes, you will not be able to vote. So we would like to see a big wave, a big movement of people heading to those offices and getting yourself registered. And if you haven't had time, contact somebody, contact Adrian. He might put you in touch with somebody who can assist you with the process. Because I understand some people are finding the process challenging. So that's it for tonight, folks. I will talk to you again next week, Wednesday, for another episode of This Week in Interview. Good night.
Good night.
Okay.